Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I know it's early, depending on where you're at. I'm in the West Coast. It's early over here. I just had to jump on, man, to talk about this stuff, man. So, from everything that I'm hearing, I don't know, maybe you guys know something more than me. I don't know. But from everything I'm hearing, it sounds like the fight for Undisputed between Canelo and Plant is off. If anybody out there knows anything different, again, let me know. But from what I'm hearing, the fight is off. And that's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. What's going on, JC? But from everything I'm hearing, this fight is off. And as disappointed as I am that it's not happening, um, I'm not surprised, man. Because boxing literally hates to do the right thing, man. It really does. And you know what? I'm not on here to talk about fucking money, um, business. All right. I'm not in business. I'm not in the business of boxing. Okay. I'm just not. And I don't need to be. Okay. I make my own money. I work for a living. That's what I do, you know? So I don't need to be involved in what fighter is getting paid the most out of these two guys or what demands need to be met. Okay? I don't give a shit. I just want to see the fight because I care about Undisputed. I care about the sport, man. And the more that boxing seems like the more that they try to get it right, they get it wrong, especially lately. Run PMC, what's up, man? I mean, this is just ridiculous, man. Guys that do the right thing, they don't get rewarded for it, man. Fight doctor, what's going on, man? I I just don't get it, man. I really don't get it. Like, I like Undisputed because it cleans things up in the sport, man. You know? It I think it would help bring more casuals to the sport because they don't really understand how boxing works the way that we do the hardcores. They don't understand all the belts, all the sanctioning bodies, stuff like that. But we do. And I could say this every time I try to explain to somebody who's right on the fence of becoming a boxing fan. They're kind of interested, but it's a little too complicated. you know, Shit like this happens and ruins everything, man. Ruins everything. What's going on, Gabe? Good to see you, man. He says Plant didn't want it. Oh, man, it's a mess, dude. It's really a mess. Now, everything that's been reported thus far has come from the PBC side, you know. Um, as far as why the fight's not happening, I'm waiting to see what Canelo and his team have to say about it. But again, the way that boxing treats undisputed fights, it's a fucking shame, man. It is. It's a shame. I mean, look, this year we had an opportunity to have 4 undisputed fights, guys. 4. 4 of them. We had a chance. And we've only gotten 1 so far. And it looks like we might only get 1. So out of 4 opportunities to have one fighter collect all the belts in a division and become undisputed, we got one. And that's why I give so much credit to Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez for doing that. They put it all on the line to be great for the legacy and for the fans. Fans like myself who value that, you know? I know there's a lot of fans that don't even give a shit about Undisputed because they're fanboys. You know, they'll say, well, this fighter bigger than the belts, you know, stuff like that. Like, just imagine if other sports were ran this way, man. You know? Just imagine. The NFC champion doesn't want to play the AFC champion because of I don't know. I don't want to play on this field because the grass is too tall or too short or um I want I want this or I want that. I want to wear this color jersey. No, you have to wear this color. Like just imagine that. Like that's what happens in boxing. So stupid. What's going on, L-Dub? Yeah. I mean, and again, that's another fight that ended in controversy, and we didn't get an undisputed. We didn't get the undisputed at 154 pounds. We had 2 fights take place for undisputed, but only one fight came out with an undisputed champion. That fight there, I felt Castaño won, but again, boxing shows its ugly ass face once again. And we get one judge with a abomination of a scorecard in that fight. Boxing hates undisputed, man. It hates it. It just does. And it's just getting really, really annoying, man. Because, like I said, we had a chance, you know? We had a chance for a lot of undisputed fights, man. And looks like we're only going to get one. Gabriel Montoya says, what's up? We need a league. Right now, it's just a bunch of individual business transactions that rely on everything going perfectly. It's inevitable. It's tenable. There's more money. Yes, man, I agree 100%. I agree. We need to have it to where guys need to fight other guys, or at least they have to. You know, no way around it. Again, in other sports, there's no way around playing the other opponent or playing the other team. You know, like in other individual sports, they play tournaments. You know, you play in a tournament to win. We're lucky if we get that every now and then here in boxing. You know, we're absolutely lucky. Puerto Rican rum. What's going on, man? 92 AKU. I don't need Canelo versus Plant. I know that Canelo is the best at 168. Andres, Joe Lopez. League is good. More tournaments. Yeah, the World Boxing Super Series. This is a good idea, man, but we just don't get it enough because boxing hates undisputed. Hates it, man. Absolutely hates it. And I'm one of those guys. I'm pushing for more organization in boxing because there's too many ways to not make fights happen. And I don't like to blame fighters, man. You guys know that. I don't think fighters are afraid to fight. I just don't. You know, I really don't. By the way, guys, hit that like button for me. Don't forget that. It's the most important thing you can do to help the channel grow. Hit that like button. That's what boxing is saying, 92 AKU. That's what boxing is saying, you know? It sucks, man. We all complain about how many belts there are, but if one guy just goes in there and cleans it all up, then there shouldn't be anything to complain about, you know? We know who the best guy is. Um, and the problem is this. I mean, where is it? Where's that? Here it is. We can say stuff like this, right? Just like we can say the same for Teofimo, at 135, but then we still got knuckleheads out there bitching and moaning about stuff. Like as if it's Teal's fault that the WBC decided to make the franchise belt, you know? Blood boxing. Good morning, man. They're more afraid of the loss than the actual fight. It's sickening, isn't it, man? Like guys don't want to be some guys just don't want to be competitive, So they'll pass on a belt. Like sometimes fighters have said that, and I don't like that. I don't like it. But just look at the coverage that the undisputed fights have gotten this year. And we've had two so far with Ramirez Taylor and Charlo Castaño. They got no love, man, from the media. None. They got nothing. No coverage. Both venues, I mean, I know that there was COVID restrictions for the Taylor Ramirez fight, but the Charlo fight, like that was a good fight too. Like I feel like that place should have been packed. Like Texas doesn't have restriction. They didn't have restrictions at that time. That place should have been packed. But they'll put shitty fights on pay-per-view instead of rewarding guys that actually want to fight. When they get a belt, they want to fight the other champions. They'll put bullshit on pay-per-view though. Like it's boxing is so fucked up, man. It really is. And I just can't stand it anymore. What's going on, man? Yeah, I know it's early here, man, but I just felt like I had to jump on and say something real quick because it looks like the fight is dead between Canelo and Plant, which is terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Run PMC, it seems like a good amount of modern day fighters lack the confidence in their skills and don't really want the big fights. Yeah, man. Andres, the keeping the O idea is making all the past legends laugh. Exactly, man. Exactly. Blood says nobody cares, bro. In this era, doesn't understand the importance of undisputed. Look at what they. Yep, exactly, man. Exactly. They don't give a damn about what the guy that's actually putting in the work, right? I mean, people are praising Tank Davis for beating Barrios for a regular WBA, right? They're talking more about that than they're talking about what Josh Taylor did by getting all the real belts and fighting champions, fighting legit guys in the division. That's how fucked up. That's how fucked up boxing is. Unfortunately, yep, it's back and running around. And then Conor Benn, his fight got canceled today. Oh, that's terrible, man. Terrible. I might drop a video about that later. But yeah, man, there's only been like a handful of undisputed champions since the four belt era has happened. Now, I know I got some guy Run PMC. You're pretty good at remembering stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hopkins, right, did it in the early part of the 2000s. Then, Jermaine Taylor beat him for all the belts. So we had two, right, in the same division at middleweight. I think the next guy to do it after that was 10 years later with uh Terrence Crawford at 140. The year after that, we got it with Usyk. And then another 3 years later, we get it with Josh Taylor. That's terrible, man. It's like having an undisputed champion in boxing is like finding a unicorn out in the wilderness, It would mean more if they actually fought for it, man. I think, in my opinion, Yeah, Crawford at 140. I mentioned him. Yeah. As much as I want Ramirez to win, Josh deserves a lot of credit for becoming undisputed. Taylor won the world boxing. Yeah, he put in some major work at 140, man. Major work. Blood boxing or retro boxing. Maybe subscribe to retro boxing documentaries. Great stuff there. We went too long not having undisputed champs. The guys that made the most money in this era was not undisputed. Exactly, man. And that's completely ass backwards, man. Completely ass backwards, in my opinion. Yep, Gerald Washington too. Unbelievable, man. And I hope that Ben and Washington both, get better soon. Because that thing is it's the real deal, man. It kills people, you know. Taylor won it all. I mean, every single belt plus the tournament. Yeah, exactly. Right. Black and Brown, what's going on, man? Morning, bro. You and I are both early. We're both on the West Coast. Canelo is undisputed best fighter in the world. I would like to see him collect all the belts still, man. I just would clean it up. And he can make history, man. It'd be a big part of his legacy to become the first Mexican champion to have all 4 belts in one division. Jose had a chance to do it. Unfortunately, came up short, but yeah, terrible. Ron PMC said, yes, and I believe Judah was undisputed right before Hopkins at 47. So only 5 undisputed champs in 15 plus years. Not enough. Yeah, I forgot about Judah. That's right. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't get it, man. Something needs to change, man. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen because there's just too much greed in the sport. You know, they don't want to do what's right. And the fact that they don't promote good behavior, like these guys who do try to go for undisputed, they don't promote it the right way. It just shows you that they really hate it, you know? They really hate undisputed, man. They just do. Now I hear you, Mr. Sinister. I hear you, man, but like I said, man, I don't want to blame one side or the other right now. Honestly feel like boxing ruined this fight. Ruined it. Boxing as a business. But I mean, again, what else can you expect? You can't be TBE if you didn't unify in the division you campaigned in. and right, and that TBE guy, he never became undisputed. In my opinion, not many people know much about this sport, but I have a lot of respect for you and the HCP brand. You guys know, hey, I appreciate that, blood, especially coming from you, man. You're a historian, I appreciate that, man. I just really want what's right, you know? And I feel like fights like this need to happen more often and need to be praised more, man. And it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Would I be fired up for Bivol? Not really. I'm not a big fan of Bivol, to be honest with you. And plus, that's not for undisputed either. It's just not. Give me 1 second, guys. I got to step away for just 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry, guys. parental duties, parental duties kick in. So had to take care of that real quickly. But I appreciate you guys sticking around. I really do. Also want to say thank you to all my new subscribers for getting me over to over 1,000. I appreciate it, man. I mean, yeah, Plant is getting ready to make a lot of money, a ton of money. It's frustrating, man. A few years ago, I thought Plant would give Nello a good fight in a losing effort, but now not so sure. It would be a decent fight. I want to see it though. I mean, honestly, the only reason why I want to see it is because all the belts are on the line, Floyd collected WBO, WBC, and WBA when he beat Pacquiao. Brooke had the IBF. Yeah, I never went after Brooke. Okay, right on. Is it a day game today or what? Giants took an L yesterday, man, but it's all good. We still number one in the division. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is just sickening, man, that we can't get the most important fights. Fuck all these weak ass money fights, like that really have nothing on legacy, I want to see the champions fight the champions, the best fighting the best, right? That's what we all talk about. Some channels talk that shit, but then they only care about it in certain fights, certain divisions. No, I mean, I agree with you, Ryan. I mean, he's beat nobody. He's fought nobody. He's beat nobody because he's fought nobody. You know? I agree. But he's got the last belt. He's got the last damn belt. I mean, I think the Bridgerweight division is a joke, to be honest with you, man. I mean, we need less divisions, not more in boxing. We need less. But again, boxing shows its ugly ass face. But yeah, man, 5 undisputed champions in 15 years. 5. That's it. That's all they could do in that amount of time. And like I said, this year, I mentioned this at the beginning of the year that this could be a big year for boxing because we have a chance for a lot of undisputed fights. We had 2 take place, but only 1 undisputed champion. Because the other fight that happened, we had bad judging. And the guy that should have won the fight didn't win. I'm glad they didn't take the belt from him, but I feel like he deserved to win that night. Because again, boxing just hates undisputed, man. Hates it. Every time it tries to do the right thing, every time it takes a step forward, it takes 2 back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that fights were a possibility, right? These undisputed fights are a possibility, 4 of them at least. But then look, we get the first one, and nobody's talking about it. There's literally no coverage for it. There's no hype behind it, no promotion, right? The guy that wins gets overshadowed by some other guy who fought for a regular belt. And then we go to the other one where it's a good fight. I feel like one guy clearly won, but then the judges ruin the fight. So every time it takes 1 step forward, it takes 2 back. And it's always with undisputed. Fury Joshua looked like it could have happened. Doesn't happen. We're going to have to get the 3rd fight first with Wilder. Then now we have Canelo and Plant. They can't come to terms. Fights off. Like, this is just ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous, man. Make sure you guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I would appreciate that. Hit the like button as well. That's why I really don't like fans today. Too many fanboys trying to protect their fight. Absolutely, man. Let's see here. Canelo should go up to fight Bivol and let Benavidez or Charlo take the Ben from Plant and fight. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like the thing with 168 is those guys. None of those guys were doing jack shit until Canelo got there. He collected 3 belts in 5 months. 5 months. While the rest of these guys couldn't even get a fight with each other, right? Nobody unified a single fucking belt in that division until Canelo got there. Like who the hell is Plant trying to unify with? Nobody, right? Was he just waiting for Canelo? I mean, they couldn't even get that Benavidez fight made. And that fight has already got promotion because there's bad blood between those two. That's a fight they could have made. But they couldn't even get that fight to go. Yeah. Would have been the third undisputed fight this year. For sure. Good morning, Guido. What's up, man? That's exactly what they're doing, bud. Killing off the sport, man. Protecting their fighters. Afraid to see their fighter take a loss. Like, I don't get it, man. Who knows who Plant will fight next? Who knows? The only way I would even give him a pass would be with Benavidez. And like I said, that fight is already selling itself because of the bad blood that they have, you know? Too many belts, too many divisions, and they still fight less today than 30 years. Exactly, man. Like, this sport really needs a shakeup. It needs a slap in the face. It needs someone to grab him by the collar, lift him up, and smack it around, you know? That's what really needs to happen here, man. This is exactly why we're only getting guys that go on pay-per-view. We're not getting uh the big sales anymore. We're not creating stars because it's too it just makes me sick, man. You know? It really makes me sick. Mario Casares. Yeah, those two guys have been. I mean, we had Benavidez on a few months back. We asked him about the Plant situation. Um, that fight should have been made. I don't know what the hell's going with. I don't know how PBC can't get that fight made. That's an in-house fight. Like, how is that? How is that not? How's that fight not being made? I don't get it. Man, I don't want to agree with you because I want to stay optimistic, but I hear you, man. I do. And it's because of shit like this that it will never change because guys that try to clean up the division don't get credit. And then they don't want to make the fights happen when there's an opportunity to make it happen. Like, come on, man. Come on. Goofy business. That's right. Goofy business. So we'll see what happens here, man. I'm going to keep a little ray of hope alive that this fight could possibly still happen. But it's not looking good right now, man. It's just not. I hate to do this type of stuff. Like if it were me type of talk, you know, because obviously I'm not involved. But for me, as a someone who competed in high school playing organized sports, you know, I love to compete against the best. And I wanted them at their best. Like, you know, if we were gonna go play another school and one of their best guys wasn't playing, like that was a letdown because I didn't want to beat that team when they weren't at 100%, you know? And unfortunately, guys let business get in the way of the competitive side of sports, especially boxing, you know? Like both of these guys are going to be getting paid so much money, right? Plant's going to get the biggest payday of his career. Canelo too. Like you're getting paid a lot of money. That should be the last thing on your mind at this juncture of your career, you know? You're getting well compensated to do what you do best, and that's box, you know? You should just get your ass in there and get it done, man, you know? D Hodges, what's up, man? Haven't seen you around in a while, man. I see you everywhere else but here. But thanks for stopping by this morning, man. But um yeah, if I was at 168 and I had a belt, or if I was in a position for a belt, like I would be doing everything in my power to fight Canelo because I'd want to fight the best and I want to beat the best when he's at his best. And right now he's in his prime. You know, he's in his prime right now. You have an opportunity to beat the guy, and they let shit like this get in the way, man. Terrible. Terrible, man. Frustrating. But I'm going to continue to give guys who go after all the belts their just due. I'm going to give them the credit. You know, I've had people come on here and call me a Teofimo Lopez fanboy just because I give him credit for doing great things in just 16 fights. I mean, look, in 16 fights, he's collected all the belts in the division, fought the best guy in the division, made it his goal to do that, and he did it. Like, how does that not deserve credit? Nah, but you got the fanboys that want to hate. Like, a lot of them have the nerve. So, Tio ain't fighting nobody. Like, what do you mean he's not fighting nobody? Only him and Lomachenko are the only two guys that were fighting anybody in the division. All these other guys have fought nobody. Tank's fought nobody at 135. Haney's fought nobody at 135. Ryan's fought nobody at 135. These guys are just stepping up in competition. Tio's been done that. But that's the guy you want to hate on. Like, did you see how crazy the sport is? Right? Josh Taylor cleans up the division, wins the tournament, wins all the belts, but gets overshadowed by Tank Davis beating Mario Barrios. I mean, how do you even how does that even make sense? You know, like it's like boxing's not even a real sport. Like it's not even I do have a co-host every Monday night. I don't know if you're new here, but if you are, subscribe to the channel. Every Monday night I have a show. Every Tuesday night we're on a podcast. So I mean, subscribe to the channel. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman said, should be fired from boxing. Man, he is. That's another one. That's another one. Blood says, I'm just going to stay away from fanboys. Some of these fanboys have YouTube pages and pretend to know much more than they do, homie. Yep. Straight lames care more about. Yep. They want super chats. You know, they want donations. They want the clicks. They want the subscribers. Like, I hear you, Blood. I hear you, man. And that's exactly why I've been subscribed to Blood for over 10 years, man. Before I even started making videos, I was subscribed to Blood because this guy, man, I'm telling you guys, subscribe to that channel right there that I just had up, Retro Boxing Documentaries. Subscribe, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not interested in the business side of boxing. Like I don't know about how the contracts are made, what's in them, and all that shit. Like, and to be quite honest with you, I don't care, man. I just want to see the damn fights, you know? Well, here's the difference, Ryan. Sure, he petitioned for it because he wanted to take everything off of Lomachenko, right? He wanted to take all his belts, but he won it. That's the difference, right? He actually won that shit. When Canelo was franchised, he didn't win it. They just gave it to him. When Lomachenko became the franchise, they just gave it to him. Same thing with Estrada down at 115. Teofimo actually fought in the ring for it. It changed hands that night when he beat Lomachenko. So that's the difference. He's the only one that's actually bringing some real shit to the franchise. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one. It's like waving a doggy sack at a dog. That's what Canelo was doing to Al Heyman and Fox. There's a lot of theories out there as to what's going on, man. I'm still waiting to hear what Canelo's side has to say. We've only heard from Plant. Coppinger took Plant's quotes and ran with it. That's facts, Joe Lopez. That's facts. To make it so bad, Josh Taylor called that boy out. Yeah, he did. It's going ignored. A contender that can't sell a pay-per-view should not have the champ calling him out. Yep, without wanting to accept the challenge. Absolutely, man. They should all just, it should be just ran one organization like the other sports, man. Why can't boxing be that way? I understand that they can't make like a schedule. They could book tournaments in divisions and shit like that, But I don't know, man. There's a lot that needs to be fixed with boxing. But the point of this video was, because we had such an opportunity to have 4 undisputed bouts this year. And it looks like we're only going to get 2, and they've already happened. And only one undisputed champion has come out of those 2 fights, man. He ran with it. You know why? Because he didn't go and get another source. That's why he ran with it. If you're a journalist, you got to get more than one source, man. You can't just go to one side, You got to get both sides, man. You have to. League structure. Yeah, man. We need something, man. This way these promoters, because I feel like they're probably the biggest problem out of anything with boxing. They're afraid to put their investment in there, because they don't want to see them lose. Like, it was never like that before. Like, I don't know what changed from when I was a kid, the 80s and the 90s to now. What changed? Sure, there were some guys that got froze out, but not the way it is nowadays. Sure, there was fights that didn't get made, but not the way it is nowadays. Like, it's on a whole nother level, What about Canelo? How come they're not getting Canelo's side, and then that's it? That's not good journalism, man. It's not. I know you like to be the contrarian, but that's just, I'm sorry, man. That's just not good journalism. It's not. So, yeah, I agree too, man. The internet fucked a lot of shit up. Just imagine if the guys from back in the day had, and Joe Habib talked about this on his show yesterday. Imagine if those guys back then had social media, man, boxing would be huge right now. Huge. Because them guys actually wanted to fight each other. The guys actually wanted to be great, But a lot of guys don't. And the sport is okay with it. I appreciate that, man. I'm a real fan, man. I'm a real fan of the sport, This is why UFC's taking over boxing, far less politics, one man controlling the platform. Yeah. I'm not a UFC guy. I don't really watch UFC, but I understand what you mean. It said that we truly can enjoy the sport of boxing today and have a constant look at boxing history to see real fight. Yep. Consistently. Yeah. Yep. Cam Plant has now turned down the Canelo fight for a 3rd time. Caleb Plant don't want that smoke. I mean, the first two times, yeah. I mean, I must say those were weird. You know, like, oh, I need more time and all this other stuff. But now that the fight's here, it's not being made. Like, this is just crazy, man. We'll see what happens, though, man. Like I said, I'm going to try to stay as optimistic as I can that the fight gets made, that we hear something by the weekend, you know. But it's not looking good right now, man. It's just not. You know, I hear this a lot, man. I just can't watch it, man. Like, it's just too many wrestlers, man. It's too wrestler dominant for me, you know? Like, I get you know, like, I respect the discipline and the art of wrestling, but it's just not very pleasing to the eyes, man. Social media and the internet aren't the problem. The problem is the sport is still ran like an exhibition event touring the country. Nah, I'm not taking no calls today, man, because I'm getting ready to close it out. I know you want to be the contrarian, but it's not gonna happen this morning, man. I don't have all morning to do that. So as you see, I had to break away a little bit because I got stuff going on. But I just want to come on real quick and just talk about this, man, because I'm just disappointed, very disappointed that this fight's not happening. And boxing needs to do better, man. And we as the fans, man, we got to give these guys more credit than these guys who fight these weak opposition and get praised all the time. You know, like that to me, that's just a crime. It's a crime that Tank Davis gets more credit for beating Barrios than Josh Taylor beating Jose Ramirez for all the belts. That's just insane to me. Absolutely insane. It blows my mind that people want to hate on Teofimo Lopez for going after all the belts, fighting the number one guy in his division, and then they go around saying, he ain't fighting nobody. Like, what the hell do you even mean? Like, look at his resume. Look who he's been in there with, you know? Come on. Usyk doesn't get a lot of credit for going undisputed at cruiserweight. I know that that's not a glamour division, but he doesn't get a lot of credit. I mean, look at everybody likes to talk about the guys at welterweight, but nobody there's trying to be undisputed, you know? Them dudes ain't fighting each other at all. Yep. I appreciate that, blood. But I'm going to wrap this up, man. I actually went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but you know, you guys were putting out some good comments in the chat, so I just want to go over that. So I'm gonna wrap it up, man. I might be on tonight with D Style. I'm not quite sure yet. I need to see how my schedule is. I know he might change the time. We'll see, but don't miss it. If you're not subscribed to me, go subscribe to D Style Boxing here on YouTube. He'll have the roundtable tonight. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, if you're new, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time I go live. I usually don't do too many lives like this, just out of nowhere. I've been trying not to do that so much, just trying to stick to the shows on Monday. But every now and then I just got to jump on real quickly, you know. But I might be dropping a video a little bit later about the Conor Ben and Gerald Washington situation with COVID-19. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. Again, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. This is gfunkyboxing of HCP. And I'm out of here. See you guys on the next one.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.